Yeah, good evening all. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not, right? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fine, thank you. So today I'll be entering into the basic technicals of this Python, right? I'll be discussing about data types and variables. Data types and variables, right? Talk like every organization use case, right? Has got data and operations, generally data represented, right? Data represented using data types or variables. Operations represented, right? Operations represented, right? Represented using functions. Every organization use case has got data and operations. Data represent.
Sir,
Yes.
myself Chaitanya.
Yes.
So I'm attending from UK. Basically, I have a biology background.
Yes.
So I don't know the coding and decoding everything. I'm just a fresher to this Python. Can you explain this?
Okay. Fine. So every organization use case has got data and operations. If we talk about, okay, I'll come back to some examples, right? Yes, operations represented using functions. For example, any organization, if you take, has got some data, right? For example, if you take the example of a bank, right? Bank consists of what? Customers, employees. Customers has got what? Customers will have data and operations. Data in the sense like customer name, assume some Ajay, account number 309, some account number, balance amount, balance amount like 70,980.70, some branch, Hyderabad branch, means you got some data, customer name, account number, balance, branch. So to represent this data, we go for data types or variables, I'm saying. So what do you mean by data types, variables? I'll come back, but why we need to go for data types or variables means to represent this data like customer name, account number, balance. And operations means, what do you mean by operations? Deposit operation, withdraw operation, transfer operations. These operations, right, we go with functions. Generally, what are functions? We have got separate discussion. I'll discuss it later about what is a function, how to define, how to use it, right? But as of now, data types are variables. Data types means to represent the data. Similarly, not only for customers, for employees also you got data operation. For employees also you got data and operations. Try to say what is the data? Employee data. Employee ID 101. Employee name, some Rahul. Salary 60,000. Designation, manager, right? So this data to represent, we go for data types or variables. Data types or variables, right? Yes. And operations, right? What kind of operations? Like calculating tax, calculating net salary, right? For these things represented using functions. Later I discuss, but not, that is not part of our discussion, right? Functions. Data types are variables. If you take college, right? Students and faculty. Students has got data, name, roll number, branch, and faculty like the name, all the details, right? Name, salary, designation, all this, right? Yes. So data represented using data types or variables, operations using functions, data using data types or variables, operations using functions, right? What are these data types and variables? I'll be discussing, right? Fine. If you compare other programming language like C or C++ or Java with Python, right? Yes, Python. Python supports dynamic data types, supports dynamic C, C++, Java, right? Python, right? Supports dynamic data types. What do you mean by dynamic data types in Python? For example, in other programming language, if you want to define like x as 10, compulsory, it should be, I need to say int x. Int x means integer type. If you want something in decimal like 4.5, I need to say float, right? Float. If anything in decimal, float. If anything in integer, int. If some sequence of characters like a Python, right? String you need to say. But in Python, no need to define all those. That is say x as 10, y as 4.5, z equal to Python. So the people who are from non-programming or zero programming, in the last class, I was discussing some examples, right? How to generate graphs using Python, how simple, and module like math module, different types of functions, sum, max, min, sorted. We don't write huge codings here, right? Yes. So here, what kind of variable x is means based on this data type defining, it is integer. What kind of variable y means based on this data type, it is say float. What kind of variable x is here? What kind of variable x is? Means what value you have assigned to it. As you assign integer value, the integer variable is going to get created dynamically during runtime. So there is a function given by Python, type of x. Type of x means what type? Int type. Why it is integer? Because you have assigned a integer value. Everyone try to answer. Type of y is what type? Float.
Float.
Why
Float
it is
type, sir.
float? You have assigned a float value. That's why float is. Type of z. Type of z will be string. String. String type, right? As you assigned a string value. Based upon what value you are assigning the variables, the type of the variable is int or float or string. So observe carefully, everyone. I'm going to discuss 4 cases now to make you understand what happens internally, right? Whenever you define a variable in Python, right? How to print the content, how to print the address, how to print the value, right? 4 cases I'll be discussing, right? Observe this case 1, right? If you've got any queries, you can ask me then and there. You can unmute yourself and you can ask. Now, I want the sessions to be interactive from here on, like interactive live sessions, right? So you can give your response through voice and by unmuting and or through chat, right? In the through chat messages, you can just type, right, your responses. If you've got any background noise, please try to give your response through chat panel. Otherwise, you can unmute yourself and you can give your response through voice. So first, defining a variable. Case 1, defining a variable, right? For example, x equal to 10. If you say x equal to 10, what happens internally? An object created. An object is going to get created with value 10. An object gets created with value 10. Whenever you say x equal to 10, internally within the memory, an object gets created with value 10. It is going to occupy some physical memory location address. That address is given to x, right? X equal to 10, one object created in the memory with some address, that address returned to x. Now, what x is storing, what x stores, don't say like x storing 10. X stores the address. Once again, I'm saying what x stores. X stores the address. Don't say like x storing 10. Here, 3 things you need to understand. Print x means what?
Print x.
Print x means it goes to this address and prints whatever present at that address. That's it. Print X means it goes to that address and prints the content at that address. Means prints the content at that address. What is that? 10. If I want to print the address itself, ID function is there. ID of X. ID of X, right? Prints the address of X. What is the address of X? 103070. Print type of X. Data type of X. Type of X is what type, right? Prints the data type of X. Prints the data type of X, right? What is the data type? Integer type. Address. Index. Prints the content at the address, prints. So for printing the content, for printing the address, for printing the data type, right? Type is integer, address is this. Print X means prints 10. Understood, right? Any query in this, anyone? Before we go with case 2. How to print the content, how to print the address, how to print the type. Now observe this case 2. Right? Now in this case 2, everyone has to answer. Case 2. X value is 10, Y is 20. How many objects are created? Everyone try to answer. How
Two
many-
objects.
2 objects, right? Yes.
Two.
10 with some address. The address is given to X. And Y equal to 20. One more object with some address 104090. That address is given. Now try to answer it. What is print X? It
10.
goes to this address and prints the content. What is that? 10.
10.
Print ID of X. Try to answer.
So print the address of 10.
103070.
103070.
Type data type of X. What data type it is?
Integer.
As
Integer.
was an integer type. Now print Y means what type?
20.
20.
The print the 20. Print
Print address of Y is what?
104090.
Okay. Print type data type of Y.
Integer.
Integers.
It was an integer, right? So two different variables X, Y with two different values 10, 20. Then two different objects with two different addresses, two different variables, two different values, two different objects, two different addresses. Understood this case to everyone, right?
Yeah.
So those who are from non-programming or zero programming who are in the week, I recommend you to just make notes parallelly, whatever you understood, right? Anyhow, I will be forwarding you the soft copy also later. But if you make notes, it will be much more clear, right? If you got any query, you can ask me. You can unmute yourself. You can ask, or you can type in the chat, right? Yes. How to print the content, how to print the address, time. Printing the content, address, and time, right? Yes, this is case 2. Yes. Now coming to this case 3, right? Case 3. Okay. Case 3. X value is 10. Y value is 10. Now everyone try to answer how many objects will be created.
One object. So one object.
X and Y are there. Two. How many objects will be created?
1.
One.
One or two?
So one.
1.
Before creating object for Y, it checks any object with value 10 is already available. If available,
Yes, sir.
the same address will be given. One more object with value 10 won't be created. X is 10, Y is 10, Z equal to 10 means 3 objects with value 10 won't be created. Only one object, its address is given to X, Y, and Z. Right. If X value is 10, Y is 20, Z is 30. Now you say how many objects?
3.
3.
One object.
Yeah, one object only.
So one object, right? No, no.
No,
So
I'm
one object.
talking about X equal to 10, Y equal to 20, Z equal to 30. How many objects?
3. 3.
3
Three
objects.
objects.
3 objects,
Two objects.
3 different addresses.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, X, Y, and Z, they are sharing the same content 10.
Yeah.
Yes. They are sharing the same address, right? All
Yeah.
this X, Y, Z, they are sharing the same content.
Yes, sir.
address. Can I say like this? Print X equal to print Y equal to print Z equal to 10.
10.
Yes.
Print address of X.
103070.
Address of Z equal to
103070.
030.
So 103070, sir.
yes, type data type, right? Print
Yes, sir.
type of X equal to print type of Y equal to type of Z equal to
Integer.
all are integers, right? Yes.
Yeah.
This is case 3. Case 3 is the values are same, only one object. If the values are different, multiple objects. 10, 20, 30 means 3 objects. 10, 10, 10 means only one object. Please be in mute. I'm getting sounds. Graphic sound. Atul Singh. Okay, fine. Now observe this case 4. This case 4 little different, right? Now X value is 10. Here X and X value is 20. How many objects here? 1 or 2?
Two objects, sir.
For 10, 1
No,
object.
sorry, one object. So one object. One object. Sir. Sorry, sir. One object. One object.
So here everyone try to answer. Yes. Some of you saying 1. Anyone with 2? Here 2 objects gets created. Observe carefully. 2 objects gets created. This address is given to X. Two objects created. Now this is fine. Up to here it's fine. But if I say print X, now try to answer what is the X value. It will print 10 or 20 or both.
Sir,
20.
20.
10 or 20 or both. What is your answer?
So 20.
20.
It always prints the latest value. For example,
Yes, sir.
your salary last year 50,000. Your salary this year 70,000. Print the salary means what it prints? The latest salary, right?
Yeah.
Print X20. Print address of X. How much?
104090.
Type of X. Type of X is what type?
Integer.
10. So integer.
This is fine. Okay, it is printing. But is there any possibility of printing the value of this 10?
No, sir.
What happens to this object? What happens to this object? Where it is stored? Can we print the value 10 or not? Means to understand that what happens to this object at 10, there is a small concept you need to understand, right? Garbage collector. So it is too early to discuss this concept now, but just I will give overview as of now. Later, while discussing, I'll be discussing in brief, right, with multiple examples. But as of now, to know what happened to this object at 10, I'll just say what is garbage collector, right? So for that, I'll go back to this case 3. What is garbage collector? Removes unused objects. Removes unused objects or unreferred objects. Unreferred objects from the memory. Removes unused objects or unreferred objects from the memory. What is the use of garbage collector? Unused objects or unreferred objects removing from the memory. What do you may ask? What do you mean by unused or unreferred objects?
So like a 10.
What is it?
In case 4, use in 10. X value is 10.
Yeah. I'll
But
just
use.
what do you mean by unused objects? Means objects whose reference count becomes 0. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, we call them as unused or unreferred objects. Then these objects are immediately removed. Objects whose reference count becomes 0, then these objects are immediately removed. Automatically by the garbage collector. You may ask, what is this reference count and how it becomes 0? You may ask, what is this reference count and how it becomes 0? Then only those objects will be removed. What do you mean by reference count? I'll just show you all these things, right? Reference count means, what do you mean by reference count? Means number of variables. Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address of a object. I'll just explain this, right? What do you mean by reference count? How many variables pointing to an object? How many variables? Number of variables pointing to an object or number of variables storing address of an object. Now observe this object. There is an object at 10 here, right? There is an object at 10, right?
Yes, sir.
how many variables are pointing to this 10? X is pointing, Y is pointing, Z is pointing, right? So what is the reference count?
3.
3.
So X is storing this address, Y also storing
Yes,
this
sir.
address, Z also storing this address, right? Means number of variables storing address of this object 10, how many? 3. How many variables
3.
find in this object? 3. So what is
3.
reference count? 3.
3.
Understood what do you mean by reference count, everyone first?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
How many variables pointing to it? Later I'll discuss these things in brief. But what happens to that object? Reference count. But whenever object reference count becomes 0, then only objects gets removed. But reference count is 3. How will it become 0? For example, Z value is 10. Y value is 10. Slowly I'll modify the Y value to 20. Slowly I'm modifying the Y value to 20 means a new object with value 20 with some new address, right? A new object is created with the value 20 with new address, right?
Yes.
Now Y is pointing to this new object. Y is not pointing to this now. Y is made to point to the new object. Y is not pointing to this. What is the reference count of this object now?
2.
2.
Object to 10 reference count is 2, right? Only X and Z are pointing now. Previously Y also was pointing, but Y is made to point to object 20. Reference count becomes 2. Now slowly I modify the Z value to 30. I modified the Z value to 30. Object created with some address. Now Z is made to point to the new object. Now Z is not pointing to this object 10. Z is not pointing to this object 10. Z is pointing to the new object 30. What is the reference count now?
1.
Only
1.
1, right? Reference count is 1. Only X is pointing, right?
Yeah.
Previously X, Y, Z were pointing. Now Y and Z they are pointing.
బయటికి వెళ్ళా
And X is pointing. X is
ఎందుకు
pointing.
మాట్లాడుతున్నావు మరి
Is being mute. Yes.
నీది రాసుకో
Suraj.
బయటికి వెళ్ళిపో
Kokirala Suraj, right? Be in mute. Observe, right? So I'm just giving you the unmuted status for giving the response, right? If you've got any background noise, right, you can just give a response to short panel. Fine. So X is 10, Y is 10, Z is 10. So here Y and Z they are pointing to the new objects. Only X is pointing to this object 10 now. Reference count 1. Slowly I modified the X value also to 50. Means a new object created with value 50 with some new address, right? Right. That address is given to X. Now X is pointing to the new object. X is not pointing to this. So what is the reference count now, everyone?
0.
0.
Reference count is 0, right? Means
0.
none of the variables are pointing to this. None of the variables are pointing to this. None of the variables are referring its address. Unused object, unreferred objects, right? It is unused or unreferred. Reference count also 0. Reference count also 0. So immediately garbage collector removes these kinds of objects from the memory whose reference count becomes 0. Understood, everyone?
Yeah.
What is reference count? What is garbage collector? When it removes that object, how reference count becomes 0? These things, everything we'll be discussing later, right? In this. But now coming back to this case 4, now you try to say me, you forget about X equal to 20 for some time. Say X equal to 10. What is the reference count for this object 10?
1.
1, right?
Yeah.
Only X is pointing. Slowly you modified the X value to 20.
Okay.
Reference count is object is 1. Now X value modified to 20, a new object with 20 created. Now X is pointing to the new object. X is not pointing to this. Reference count becomes
Yes.
what?
0.
0. Reference count becomes 0 means this object is going to get removed from the memory, right? By the garbage collector.
Yes.
Yes. Now, what is your answer? What was I was asking previously? What happens to the previous object 10? Is there any possibility of printing its value? What is your answer?
Latest one.
Always X stores the latest value. The previous one gets removed by the garbage collector. Okay. I'll just show you all these 4 cases practically now. I'll just show you all these 4 cases practically. So in the last session, I was showing you the installation of Python, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
I'm new to this class. This is first demo.
Hmm.
So I don't know the how to installations and everything.
So yes, those people who are not attended that the previous session, right? The video session video will be forwarded, right? You can just see in the chart panel after 10 minutes, right? You can just go through that everything step by step. It hardly takes 2 minutes to install Python. Right. Those who are not attended the previous session, right? You can just go to the video. Just 1 second. Okay. 1 second. After some time, you can see in the chart after 5-10 minutes, you can see that. So yeah, you can see in the chart panel, right? Yes, everyone, you can see in the chart panel, right? A big message given by this online team. You can see the demo videos link, YouTube link, course content. You can see the course content, Python course content and total videos link. You can see Python demo videos link and the payment process and the procedure and the contact details of this online team for any details related and the payment process and procedure, everything is given right in the chart. You can go through right the course content, videos, everything. Now, so whenever we install Python in the apps, all apps in the start programs, you can see all this, right? What all installed, you can see in the start programs list. In Python 3.11, that is the version we have installed. IDLE means Python shell gets open like this. Python shell opens in this way. If you want to interact or if you want to interact with Python statement by statement, file. Otherwise, file, new file. Write your code here, run your code here, right? Run option is there. So here, what is that case one? This is comment in Python, right? This comment in Python means if you are starting the statement with the has symbol means it is comment, not executable, just for your understanding, right? Case one, defining a variable, right? Defining a variable, right? Yes. X is 10. Yes, print X. Type of X. Address of X. Print X means what it prints? This 10. Type of X means integer. Address of X means where exactly it is stored, right? So I'll save it. File, save this, right? Save. So I DM, right. So int one dot py, any name dot py extension. Now we say run module. Say like 10 is the content, type integer type, its address. Once again, you see, right? Run module. Excuse me. It's printing the content, it's printing the type and its address, right? Yes. Excuse me. Now case 2. Case 2, if you observe this case 2, right? This is the case 2, right? Two different variables x and y with two different values 10, 20, two different objects, right? Gets created with two different addresses, right? What is that? Copy the same. File, new file. Okay. Defining two different variables. Defining case 2, right? Case 2. Defining two different variables with the two different values. Two different variables with two different values. Then two different objects gets created. Two different variables with two different values, then two different objects gets created with two different addresses. See this? This is what we have seen. Case 1, right? In case 2, x value is 10, y value is 20, two different variables, two different values. Print x, type of x, address of x in the same way. Print y, type of y, address of y, right? Print y, type of y, address of y. To 2 dot py, run module by this. 10 type is integer and its address. 20 integer type and its address. Then integer and its address, 20 integer and its address. Okay, so two different variables, two different values, two different addresses. Now observe this case 3, right? As I'll just copy the same for case 3. File, new file, right? And paste it here for case 3. Yes, what is case 3? Observe this diagram, right? For case 3. Same x is 10, y is 10, z is 10. Only one object, only one address, right? Yes. Okay, just observe this and try to say case 3. two different variables with same values, two different variables, define two different variables with same values. Then only one object, then only one object gets created. And its address two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is returned to both the variables. Two different variables with same values, then only one object gets created and its address is returned to both the variables, right? X is 10, Y is 10, right? Then can you please answer, right? The address of X and address of Y, will it be same or different? Everyone. X value 10, Y value 10. Address of X and Y, will it be same or different?
Different.
Same.
10 and 10, only one object, only one address, right? And its address will, okay, the address of X will be same, only one address, only one content. They'll be sharing the types and contents, right? See this ones? 10. See the address? 10. See this address. Ten and 10, right? Only, okay, fine. Next, case 4, right? Case 4, observe this case 4. Defining two variables with same name, X and X only. See this case 4 once. X value 10 and X value 20. Two variables with same name, X and X. Two variables, same name, but with different values, Defining two variables with same name but with different values. Two variables with same name but with different values. Two different objects gets created. Two different objects gets created. And the previous one gets removed. X is 10, X is 20. Always the X value. The latest X value only printed. Type of X means integer. Address of X means the latest X address, right? Yes. Right? Yes. Run model. It prints 20, 20. Latest value and its type and its address where exactly it is true. Any query in these 4 cases? Anyone? Have you understood all the 4 cases? Case 3 and case 4? Yes.
Yes.
Any query in this? Anyone? Okay, fine. So now just observe, I'll just have got a query in case 3, right? If x value is 10, y is 10.0, right? X is 10, y is 10.0. Address of xn, for first you try to say x is 10, y is 10. Contents are same. Address, is it same or different? Everyone.
Same.
Same.
Address must be same, right? Has to be same, right? But if I say 10.0, same or different?
So different.
All different.
Before you answer,
Different.
same is the type of y,
So it's a float,
float. Type of x,
integer.
integer. One integer object, one float object, means address will be same or different?
So different.
Different, right? Yes, different objects, one integer and one float object. See, the addresses are different. Yes. Okay. Now, coming to this data types, right? Yes, this understood all these 4 cases, right? Everyone. Showed you practically this 4. Now, coming back to this data types, right? Data types. Okay, 1 second. Data types are of 2 types. Fundamental data types and collection data types. Collection data types. Fundamental data types means object to holding single value. What is it? Object to holding single value. Single integer or single float or right? Boolean. Object holding single value. Collection data types means like object holding group of values. Object to holding object holding single value fundamental. Collection data type. Object holding group of values. Object holding group of values means collection data type. Right? Yes. Example of this fundamental data type. The name itself saying collection data type means collection of values, group of values, set of values, multiple values, right? But fundamental data type only single value x equal to 10. One object created with value 10 with some address. The address given to x. So object holding single value. What is this? Object to holding single value, right? Yes. Object holding single value, right? Yes. object holding single value, object holding group of values. Example of this collection type, right? Yes. X equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. List of values, group of values. For this also one object will be created which has got multiple values. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. It is going to have some address. The address is given to X. So here object to holding a group of values, object to holding group of values, right? Yes. Object to holding a single value, fundamental type. Object holding group of values. So this object
Excuse me,
holding,
sir.
yes, yes.
In this case, we supposed to tell the X address is 10304090, like one address, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this address is given to X. This
We
address.
no need to add the individual 10, 20, 30, 40 is not necessary, right?
Yes. If you want to access 10 X of,
We added X is equal to 10, X is equal to 20 for 10 for X for same address, right?
so here 1 second. X equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So how this is, observe carefully how this list is allocated means print X prints the entire list. If you want only to print the first element, X is the list. In that the 0th element means 10, 0th. 1 X of 1, X of 2, X of 3, X of 4. X of 1 means second element. Understanding?
Okay.
X of 2 means third element.
30. Okay.
The list name, X is whatever the list name you have given. Index, 0 index means this. 1 index means 2 index means 30. X of 4 index means, sorry, 50. Okay. So it's a collection of values, group of, this object is there, right? Holding group of values, multiple values. Fundamental data types. Fundamental data types, right? Yes. Mainly there are of 5 types. Fundamental data types mainly are of 5 types. First one, integer, you will say, means like age 25, something in integer value, not in the float means something in decimals, right? For example, height 6.3, something in decimals. Boolean means something in the form of Boolean, true or false, true or false. F capital, T capital, compulsory, true, false. Boolean means true or false. Bool means two. Two means what? Two values. String means sequence, collection of characters. For example, city equal to Hyderabad. Collection of characters, nothing but string. True or false means Boolean. Float means something in decimal, integer. And one more thing you have got, right? In general mathematics, we use complex numbers. Python supports complex numbers also. Like in general mathematics, you will say x plus iy, a plus ib. But here instead of I, we use j, the symbol j. Right? That's the only thing. That is fundamental data types. But we have got lot of discussion on string indexing, string slicing, string functions, string methods, string special characters. Right? I'll be discussing it. And collection types, collections. 4 types. list, tuple, set, dictionary. List means squared bracket, tuple means normal bracket, set means curly bracket, dictionary also like curly bracket, key and value. Observe, by seeing the braces only you should identify. Simple syntax is given by Python. For example, x equal to squared bracket list of values. This is list type. For example, tuple y equal to this braces 10, 20, 30, 40. Set means z equal to set of values 10, 20, 30, 40. Collection of values. Collections means what? And something dictionary means right hand. Dictionary means, for example, p equal to curly bracket only name Ajay, age 25. This is key, this is value. This is key, this is value. Key value representations. Collection of key value pairs, we call it like a dictionary, right? Yes. Fine. List, tuple, sets, and dictionary. So, yes. These things I'll be discussing for more than 1 week, right? We'll be discussing about this for 1 week. List index, list slicing, list functions, list methods, list addresses, nested list within a list, right? So for list only we'll be discussing for nearly 3 days, right? 2-3 days. Next, tuple, sets, dictionaries, right? So in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about all this. But before that, fundamental data types, I'll be discussing on string, right? Fine. So yes, you can just see in the chart panel, right? Yes, the link is given, course content link. Yes, you click that link, it gets open, right? So in brief, in depth, we'll be discussing that step by step. So once again, you can have a look on this course content, everyone, right? So Python basics, versions, installations. You can go to the video if anyone have not attended the previous session. The video link is given in the chart panel. Python operations, operators, Python IDs, flow controls, loopings, strings in Python, collections, Python lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, functions in Python, modules in Python, packages, errors and exceptions, file handling, object-oriented concepts, regular expressions, database connectivity, Python date and time, OS module, advanced concepts, iterator, generator, closures, decorators, graphical user interface, graphic, working with Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science, Pandas module, NumPy module, and Matplotlib. In brief, in depth, we'll be discussing about all this, right? And Django, those who go for Django, right? Full stack Python. So who wants to go for full stack? Yes. For Python, the fee structure is only 5,000. But if you go for full stack, it is 10,000, right? Yes. Web frameworks, Django views, templates, admin, models, concepts, UI technologies like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, JavaScript, and web applications creations, right? You will be developing along with me parallelly. Once you get the output of the first application, you will go to the second, third, fourth applications, right? Yes. See that. Fine. Any queries you got, anyone? So tomorrow also you can attend the session same time at 7 p.m. using the same link, right? So tomorrow you can attend, but from day after tomorrow, the link will be changing, right? So those who got enrolled, you will be getting a link in your mail ID, right? Whatever, right? You are joining the session. And don't forget to, if you have registered and if you have got the payment done, don't forget to share your screenshot to DURGASOFT online training @gmail.com. They have provided in the chat message. Then only you will be getting the link, right? And a WhatsApp group is going to get created once you got enrolled. Day after tomorrow, a WhatsApp group will be created. In that you will be added, right, for technical discussions, for any other queries, right, from your side. Directly you can interact with me directly. Clear notes will be provided, the topic wise, and you'll be getting the recorded video every day, right, to your Google Drive, right? Yes. So some assignments and tasks will be provided. Like every week I'll be providing some assignments and tasks to work with, right? Yes. So fine. So if I'm done with this, I'll stop here for now. We'll continue tomorrow, like more discussion on this one. Yes. Thank you all for your time. Thank you. We'll continue tomorrow.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah. Any query or what?
Sir, actually, how can pay complete for a package amount 10,000, sir, for Python core and advanced along with UI technologies?
Yeah. UI technologies, Django, database and Python, everything. The package is 10,000, right? You can see in the chart panel, right? A big
Yes.
message is given, a big message that you can payment process and procedure is given. Google
Yes,
Pay and account pay is there. And if you want that the contact details are there, you can call them and you can ask for any queries you got on that, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, one more doubt, sir. So actually, once the Python and core advanced after completion that course, you can start UI, sir.
So if you want to, for example, this Saturday, Django is batch is going to start. If you want to attend, that is Saturday and Sunday, the classes will be there, 2 hours, 2 hours.
Okay.
If you want to attend parallelly, you can attend parallelly Python from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday, you can attend the Django if you want. Otherwise, after completion of Python, if you want to attend, you can attend after that. So once you got enrolled, you can attend any of my batches.
Okay, sir.
Whenever Django starts or whenever, right, weekend batch, weekday batches, right? Yes.
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay. Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. Okay.
So, okay, I'm stopping here. So we'll continue tomorrow, right? Yes. Fine.
Okay, thank you.